When y'all be saying people are bad friends because they don't allow you to keep coming to them with problems and you don't want a solution, y'all lose me there every time. Like, I'm a bad friend because I want the best for you. I'm a bad friend because I want you to do better. I want you to know your worth. That makes me a bad friend because I don't want to stand beside you and support that. Like, and then y'all be like, oh, well, just be a listening ear. I just feel like, why do I have to be around for you to trauma dump on me? And y'all will be like, oh, you got that on social media? Yeah, but that's a real thing, like trauma dumping. Every time you call me, you're calling and dumping this negative stuff about you and this man onto me. I don't want to hear that. If you know you're not ready to leave your man, baby, keep the information to yourself. If I know I'm going to ride out behind my man, I'm not calling nobody. It's nothing to talk about because I know I'm going to be back with him tomorrow doing the same thing over and over again. Like, y'all have to just learn to stop wasting people's time. We don't want to hear that. Stop. Just talk. If you know you finna be, go to your car, get you a nice cry, go back in the house and do it over again. Just stop.
I don't know who needs to hear this, but you need to stop sending men text messages explaining the pain that they intentionally caused you. Why would the person who intentionally caused you pain care about your explanation of your experience of that pain? He caused it. Do you understand that? Like, your explanation and that long ass text message that you're trying to send him would only be applicable to someone who did not want to cause you that pain. If he didn't care about causing it, he's not going to care about your experience of it. So save yourself the embarrassment.
Whatever you do, do not tell that man about your trauma. Do not tell him that you are in no contact with your mother. Do not tell them how your father failed you. Don't tell them what your boyfriends did to you or your ex-husbands did. Don't tell them any of that. If they ask about your ex-husband, you say, oh, he was the best. He was the best. He treated me like a queen. That's what you're going to say. Because, see, here's what's going to happen when you start telling him about your trauma. He is not going to sympathize. He's going to act like he's sympathizing. He's not going to sympathize. He's studying. That man is studying. He's watching, he's learning, and he's learning all about your trauma. And he's going to take that trauma, he's going to take it, he's going to lock it away right up here, right up here. And then at the worst possible time, y'all going to be having a fight. You're going to be having a fight. And he's going to say something like, I see why your parents don't speak to you. Oh man, that's going to cut. It's going to cut you, okay? Or he's going to say, he's going to remember in his head, yeah, she told me her husband cheated on her 5 times and she just let him. Well, shit, she'll just let him get by with anything. So what standard of, shoot, and she's holding me to a standard? Pfft, I'll cheat 6 times. I don't care. See, don't tell them your trauma because they will up the ante or they will use it against you. Just tell them you was treated like a queen and your childhood was perfect and just move on from there. Tell your therapist your trauma. Don't tell your boyfriends. Don't do that. I hope this helps.
Heard from my friends and creators in these videos, and we want to talk about trauma dumping. First of all, I believe that this video is finding you well wherever you are. Now, first, I'd like to give a definition about trauma dumping. Like, it is the act of unloading intense emotional pain, like the traumatic experience, personal crisis, or the ongoing struggles onto another person without considering whether they are emotionally prepared, willing, or capable of receiving that information. It often happens suddenly, it often happens repeatedly, and or in a way that leaves the listener feel overwhelmed, feel emotionally drained, or responsible for solving problems they cannot fix, right? And I want to give between that and a healthy emotional sharing seeks, like a healthy emotional caring seeks connections and support. Like, you find that trauma dumping often seeks immediate relief from emotional pain, regardless of the impact on the other person, right? So I want you to watch the rest of the video here, and I'm coming back with more commentary about this issue and how it has affected both the lovers and the friendships in common.
Stop telling men shit. I'm begging you, stop. Stop sharing your insecurities and vulnerabilities with them. Stop telling your family issues and family problems, work-related problems. Your ex's history. If you've been abused and mistreated, do not tell them specifically if a man was involved. Don't share with them. I know you think at this moment he's being super empathetic and supportive and loving, but men do not have empathy for you. They can pretend for years that they do, but they do not. It's Oscar-winning performances. It's a performance. They don't feel empathy for you. And I know that this is such a difficult concept for women to understand and grasp and comprehend, because I had difficulty with it. I could not believe and accept that a human being can be evil to this extent. I always told myself there needs to be another explanation. No. He can't be like this, but he is like this. It only needs to happen enough number of times, in enough frequency for you to grasp the idea that they do not have empathy for you. They pretend in order to get information out of you, in order to use it at a later time. But because it is difficult for you to understand, I'm going to put it another way for you to comprehend it. He is empathetic and loving and supportive toward you at this moment right now. Now. He is not going to be the same empathetic, supportive, loving person in the future and forever. He's not. The moment he feels threatened, the moment there are arguments, the moment he dislikes you, the moment he thinks that you do not deserve his empathy anymore, the moment you dislike him, you have something on him, the moment he doesn't have the upper hand and you do, the moment he just decides that he doesn't love you and he doesn't want to be supportive toward you, he's going to go to his little drawer where all the files are that he keeps on everyone, because it's not just you. He's going to take out information and he's going to use it against you. He's going to throw it to your face. And you're going to just stand there in awe. Your jaw drops onto the floor because you cannot believe. Sometimes you do not even remember sharing stuff like this with you. Because they have this mastery to catch you at this specific moment where you feel vulnerable. And they're like, they catch it. They get it. They get the information. Stop telling them your insecurities. I feel insecure about this part of my body. He didn't even pay attention. He didn't even see. Because men have no standards. They don't care. They don't care. And now that you've told him, he sees it. He knows that it's there. He's going to start hating it because you mentioned it. Something that didn't even exist to him before. Stop. Stop telling them. Stop giving out information for fucking free. So that he can be abused later on. What's wrong with you? The fact that you're grown-ass adults and I have to tell you this is diabolical to me. Don't give them any information. If there is something that they can use it against you, even if there is something that it cannot be used later on because they create something out of it, don't tell them. Don't. Class dismissed.
A lesson that I can give you about dealing with men is that you can never tell them your trauma. Okay? A lot of men will like to inquire about the trauma you've dealt with in your life. They'll be like, so what have you gone through with other men? What have men put you through? What's the worst that they've treated you like? They just like to know this information so that they can set the bar for themselves. So if a guy treated you really badly, it almost makes them feel like, well, then that's all I have to compete with. If she allowed this to happen to her, right? He is my competition, which means bare minimum effort, right? So men are naturally competitive, okay? So you need to tell him, even if you did go through trauma, okay? You never want to tell a man that you were ever treated badly. I'm telling you right now, if you want to be honest, you want to be vulnerable, that's on you, girl, but it's not going to benefit you. You need to literally say, we just grew apart. We weren't aligned long-term wise, but they're really nice to me. They treat me very well. Did a lot of nice romantic things for me. But we unfortunately grew apart because he wanted different things long-term. That's literally all you have to say. I'm sorry. Who cares if it's dishonest? This is protecting you as a woman, okay? Because men are low-key manipulative in this way. They just want to know if the man that you dealt with was worse, because that's all they have to compete with. So set the bar high for yourself. Set it fucking high. And they'll know that you were not putting up with any bullshit. Because now they have to compete with that, right? I'm telling you, that's how men operate. They're not going to look at you and be like, oh, that's so sad. Well, let me do better and be better for you. No. If you're treated like shit, that's all they have to know is like that. I just have to be better than that. If you're treated really, really, really well, they're going to think, oh man, let me freaking extra just be like so amazing for this girl, right? Be smart, be strategic, ladies, because I learned the hard way. You don't want to be that honest with men, especially about your trauma. Unfortunately, this is the part that you have to lie about. I'm telling you, it's going to benefit you in the most possible way. Ever, ever, ever. Not lying to you. Love you.
So I was just watching a video from this woman, and she was talking about how she had been dating this guy. They had been on about 5 or 6 dates. She said that he came over to her place, I guess on maybe like a Friday, and he was at her place the entire weekend. Over that weekend, he was telling her about some of his deepest, darkest secrets, about really opening up to her, even telling her about some of the issues he was having with his father and his siblings. And she's thinking that over this weekend, they're really bonding. And so eventually he finally leaves. And when he leaves, he texts her back and he's like, "You're a really great person. I really enjoyed spending time with you. But if I'm being honest, I've also been dating this other woman and I want to see where that goes. So I wish you the best of luck, but basically like you're not going to see me again." So the woman is understandably upset, and she was just like, "I can't believe that you sat up in here, trauma dumped all over me, and now you're trying to tell me that you want to go see how it goes with somebody else." The reason why I wanted to talk about this is because there are so many times on the internet where a man will jump on here and say, or try to make women feel like our gifts, what we bring to the table, like is just cooking and cleaning. Like all we do is domestic things. All we do is laundry and dishes. I don't think that enough men realize that the softness, the communication, the vulnerability, our nurturing spirit, our ability to like, I just feel like he took advantage of her feminine gifts, but then you want to go and try to see how it goes with some other girl. If that other girl was so special, why didn't you trauma dump all over her? Why didn't you tell her about your daddy issues? Why didn't you tell her about the issues you're having with your siblings? It's like, he was so close to getting it, but he didn't really get it. Like, if you really wanted somebody who was a well-rounded person, the girl who you spent the weekend with, that's who you want. You want somebody who you could be, your highest and also be your lowest with, and they can still see, amazing things in you. But for whatever reason, he threw this girl to the side. When it's like, some of these men, they will use you as their therapist. They will go to anybody except a therapist, anybody but a counselor, anybody but somebody's therapy couch. And I think it's crazy how they always minimize our gifts, but they take advantage of it. Have you ever been in a situation where a man expected you to heal him, expected you to be his therapist? It's like, you don't realize that that is a gift that some women possess. It's not, every woman can't do that. Every woman couldn't even do it for him. He let her help him heal and then went on to go give somebody else the gift of his presence. Like, some of these men, they take women and our gifts for granted. They try to make you feel like all you could ever be is a cook, a cleaner, and a maid. But there are so many other gifts that we have that they know they utilize and they benefit from.
I like to say that trauma dumping has become increasingly common in modern friendships and relationships. You find that many people are struggling with anxiety, loneliness, childhood wounds, financial pressures, relationship disappointments, and the mental health challenges, right? And as a result, they often look for someone they trust and begin pouring out everything they have been carrying inside. And the reality is that most of trauma dumpers are not trying to hurt anyone. In many cases, they have spent years feeling unheard, feeling ignored, feeling unsupported, and when they finally find someone who listens, like my boyfriend, my girlfriend, my friends, they release years of bottled up emotions.
This how true it is, y'all. I don't ever like to come up here and tell my business, but like I promised y'all, I'm going to give y'all a message every day. And today's message is, ladies, stop dealing with men that don't want to do nothing for you. I don't care if that's your husband for 10 years, 20 years. I don't care if that's your baby father of 3, 4 kids. And I said that's how true it is, because this person on my phone that's calling me that I don't speak to no more don't never want to do nothing for me. And it so happened that I was making this video and he's calling. And I don't care if you see this because you're dead dragging it. But like I was saying, I'm on my way to go put money on my card or whatever so I could pay my rent. But I decided that instead of just paying 1 month, I'm going to pay 2 months of rent because my baby birthday is in May. But I was just thinking about it, like, I don't want to talk to nobody. Like, I just really don't feel like talking no more. I've been was on that, but now I'm overly on that because a lot of stuff is coming up. Like my baby birthday, she turned 2. I'm paying 2 months of rent ahead of time. Like, I just bought me a bag, as y'all know. Like, I really wish I could go to the mall and go buy me another bag. But I feel good paying my rent because priorities first. That should also be the message for today. But ladies, us females, it's expensive to be a girl. Like, you got to pay for hair, nails, feet, waxes, laser, whatever you get. It's expensive being a girl. So imagine having to pay that plus your bills. I just don't feel like a man that don't want to help and I just feel like a dude that don't want to contribute to your life but want to talk to you, that shit is scary to me. It's real life scary. You see this girl, maintenance done every month, bills paid every month, but you don't want to give her nothing? That's confusing. What you want to talk to her for? So ladies, know your worth and add tax. Don't settle for the bare minimum. Don't settle for less. And don't settle for just anything. Get what you want. And I know sometimes it may seem hard standing on business because you don't want to be lonely or you're just used to being in a relationship. You're a lover girl, but coming from a lover girl that been in a relationship for years and been in relationships my whole teenage years, it's okay to be alone. I love being alone now. I really enjoy my own company. I enjoy making my own money. I enjoy taking care of what I need to take care in life, and I don't want nobody bothering me when they don't want to help. Point blank, period. Also, don't let nobody tell you, oh, because you didn't sleep with me, you didn't do nothing with me, that's why. Slow your roll, Papa. Slow it. Men don't realize a girl's gonna do what she wants regardless. If you do something for her, if you don't do something for her. Like, stop trying to make it seem like this is a transaction thing. I'm not doing nothing with you for you to do. No, this is not how that go. As a man, you should want to provide, period. Like, y'all dudes in this generation is just sassy. So to end it off, nobody's bigger than our program, queens. Have a blessed one.
Like, why do I have to be around for you to trauma dump on me? And y'all will be like, oh, you got that on social media? Yeah.
But can we talk about the fact that they will make you the only friend that they trauma dump on, and they will call their other friends and go have fun with them, go out with them, go hang out with them, go post with them, literally go eat with them. I like to eat. But the only time you want to call me is when you want to be sad. And it's like they will have just trauma dumped on you for 3 hours. And then 15 minutes later, you see them out at the club. Why do they get to be your club friend? I like to go outside. And then this is how they pull at your empathy. Well, you're my real friend, and I trust you, and I just feel like they don't listen. Lies. You are literally just the person that they are dumping everything on. And they're just dumping it on you because they're not being honest with anybody else. And you are also being used as their scapegoat because they know eventually you're going to get sick of it. And then when you say something, you're the bad guy. It's all the setup. A lot of people don't want to grow. A lot of people don't want to heal. A lot of people want and like to be miserable. Even the people that didn't deserve to be hurt. Because they like the attention that they're getting from you, constantly reassuring them when they only call you to trauma dump on them. Because since you've been through stuff and nobody listened to you, they know that you're always going to hold space for them. And that the guilt that you may have being sick of it because they're refusing to grow, even though you've been through the same, if not worse stuff, and you're still finding a way to grow, they find solace in knowing that you just might not say something, even though one day they know what's coming. So then they flip the script on you and go, boom, you're selfish, and this is why you went through everything you went through. Even though you've been actively healing, not complaining to nobody about nothing. And they actually came to you again to dump all their trauma on you. And this is why I be blocking people. Because a lot of people like to just categorize you, bookmark you, envelope stamp you as the friend that they only call when things are horrible. They don't even say hi. And a lot of times they call you with the most horrific story. Just no preparation at all. But then you also have to look at yourself and go, why am I letting this happen? That's what I had to personally do. And then that's when you realize you are projecting your good qualities onto other people by tolerating things from them based on the empathy that you have for their trauma because no one had it for you, further sinking yourself into the misery you feel based on what you've been through that you're working to heal from, that they're now capitalizing off of by taking all of their life choices and putting them onto you, releasing that mess onto you so that they're free enough to go have fun and party with everybody else. Yeah. Yeah, this is why I block people after clearly communicating my displeasure with it. But also a lot of people know what they're doing. And when you see that they know what they're doing, you have the right to not be a part of that. And if they get mad, pretty sure that's a them problem. Yeah. Because why am I the trauma friend? Just because I've been through stuff? You don't think I like other things? You don't think I like other things? I like art. I like food. I like The Sim. Nature's cool. But you don't think I'm not allowed to go outside? This is also usually the friend that's always bailing on plans with you. And then when they call, it's because something bad happened. Stop letting people use you. That's how you end up with nothing. Protect your peace, yeah.
3 things I wish I knew before I started dating. I will never date an emotionally unavailable man again. And I don't care that your cat died when you were 6 years old. That is not an excuse to act like I don't exist. I need some type of reassurance. I am not going to put my standards aside because you cannot get therapy. Number 2, I will never date a man that complains that women don't know how to submit. First of all, I am not a dog. I would love to allow a man to lead that knows how to lead. If you are not practicing how to lead a woman properly and how to lead your household properly, stop practicing looking for the woman that will submit to you. I'm not gonna submit to someone that does not even know their butt from their face. Number 3, I will never date a man that is triggering inner trauma that I know I have not healed from yet. If you block me in the middle of a disagreement because you don't want to hear what I have to say, I'm gonna feel abandoned and unheard. I'm gonna need you to get therapy because I'm doing the work. Okay, let's go ahead and heal.
Anytime a man asks you an inappropriate question, respond with something equally as inappropriate, because a lot of times men are trying to gauge certain things about you in certain ways in which they can manipulate you because they expect you to answer the question in a certain way. So if he asks you when's the last time you've slept with someone, you're going to say this morning. Even if it's been 6 years or 6 months, you say this morning. When he asks what's your body count, you're going to say 27. Okay? Not including relationships. When he asks you, oh, what do you do for a living? I think that's inappropriate because as a man, you shouldn't be checking for what a woman is doing and how much money she's making. That's none of your business. You're going to say, oh, I have a dad that does everything for me and I don't work. That's what you're going to say, because they don't want you to have those answers. And a lot of men, I've even had men ask me, oh, do you talk to your dad? Off of like the first, second conversation. It's like, why do you care if I talk to my dad or not? And if a man asks you anything like that, you're going to say, yes, my dad's in my life and I'm spoiled. He does whatever he wants for me. Even if you've never even met your dad, okay? You're going to say you're spoiled and he does everything for you, because these men are trying to figure out ways to manipulate you, okay? Don't get manipulated, ma'am.
Good intentions do not always produce healthy outcomes. You have to know that. And one of the biggest misconceptions about love and friendship is that they believe that caring about someone means absorbing unlimited amounts of emotional pain. It doesn't. Even the strongest relationships have emotional limits. Just as a person phone battery can only hold so much charge, what about a person's emotion? It's also the same, limited. So when trauma dumping becomes a pattern, the listener may become or may slowly begin to experience emotional exhaustion. They may start feeling anxious whenever the other person calls or sends a message. They may feel guilty for wanting space even though they genuinely care. Eventually, they can become emotionally detached, not because they stopped loving their friends or partner, but because they became overwhelmed. So this is why many relationships fail unexpectedly. One person believes they are finally being vulnerable and honest, while the other person feels like they are drowning under the weight of constant negativity and emotional responsibility. And another issue is that trauma dumping can unintentionally create an healthy dependency. Instead of learning coping skills, seeking therapy, building resilience, or developing multiple support systems, someone may rely heavily on a friend or a partner for emotional regulation. And over time, the relationship can shift from mutual support to emotional caring. So the listener begins feeling like a therapist rather than a friend. The partner begins feeling like a counselor rather than a lover. So the friendship becomes centered around crisis rather than a connection. So the relationship also becomes centered around emotional survival rather than growth. So what makes this particular difficult is that both people can have good hearts. The person sharing their trauma is genuinely suffering. The person listening genuinely wants to help. Yet both can end up hurting each other if boundaries are ignored. And a healthy relationship should be a place where people can discuss difficult experiences, fears, disappointments, and emotional struggles. But healthy sharing also includes asking permission, respecting boundaries, and also taking responsibilities for personal health, healing, and let's say recognizing when professional support may be necessary. So, true intimacy is not measured by how much pain one person can unload onto another. True intimacy is measured by whether two people can support each other while still maintaining their own emotional well well-being, right? So my advice to lovers, because I know that this friendship is also there, like many couples fall into the trap of believing that love means carrying every emotional burden together. While emotional support is important, right? Your partner can be your entire, like your partner cannot be your entire healing journey. You have to be very, very honest about that. And before you even pour out your emotions, you have to ask before discussing deeply distressing topics. You have to give your partner room to express their own feelings too. You also need to avoid every conversation about problems. You need to build emotional independence alongside emotional intimacy. You also need to consider counseling or therapy if unresolved trauma is affecting the relationship. Remember, your partner role is to love you, to support you, and walk beside you, not to carry you completely, right? So, my advice to for friends, sorry, this camera is here. So, my advice to friendship is that you know that friendship often suffer from trauma dumping, right? Because friends want to be loyal and supportive. You need to check whether your friend is emotionally available before venting. You also need to avoid every interaction into emotional emergency. Like you always have problems. You need to learn self-soothe and process emotions independently. You need to respect boundaries. When a friend says they need a break, you also need to appreciate friends for their presence rather than treating them as emotional outlets. And you also need to know that a good friend is someone who will listen. A good, great friendship allow both people to feel heard, right? So people don't usually lose a relationship because they share their struggles. They lose relationship when sharing becomes one-sided, consistently, and emotionally overwhelming. Being vulnerable is strength, and respecting boundaries is also strength. The healthiest relationships that I've ever known are not those where one person carries all the pain. They're the ones where both people can like say, I care about what you are going through and I want to support you. But I also need us to protect each other's peace while we heal. That is the greatest friendship. Like you need to respect people's boundary, right? So see you in another episode. My name is Clinton, right? And expect much about this content here. And if you subscribe for this, yeah, you are in the right place.